whenever you're welding on something that has a computer, newer loader, pretty good sized unit. They just had some computer issues in it too. But if you're paranoid, you know, you can always kill the master, disconnect the batteries, whatever. I've only had one problem in 38 years. I mean, the main thing is to keep your ground as close to your work as you can. I could have clamped it on a bolt, but that don't guarantee me that it's going to arc through the bucket to where I'm going. You know, I could have clamped on the blade too, but once again, that's not actually part of what I'm welding on. So where's the current going to go? It's going to jump through the blade. It's going to find the path of least resistance, just like water, which could be anywhere. So I always take my ground, if it has something with a computer, and I'll tack it right onto what I'm doing. I mean, I'm literally 2 inches from that weld. I'm 4 inches from the side of this plate. This here's gotten wore out through the years from the mulch and was literally paper thin up top here. So I put about 4 or 5 stitches across it. I had to trigger it a little bit because it was so thin. Got it triggered in, put a couple extra passes on it. Built these corners up a little bit. The bosses were cracked. But just wanted to pass that on. Anything with a computer, I mean, if you're worried about it, you don't got insurance, whatever, man. You know, you can always disconnect the batteries, but after servicing a fleet of 100 tractor trailers and all the equipment and stuff, there's just not enough time in the day to... I'd have to hire me a monkey to sit there and disconnect and connect batteries all day long when I'm busy. So just take your ground and tack it. Tack that steel bolt. Tack that steel bolt right to the steel for what you're doing. Just keep it as close as you can to what you're doing. That way the current's just bouncing between here where I'm welding and 4 inches away to my ground clamp. It's a direct connect. There's no possibility of it having to go through rust through a bolt or rust between the blade and the bucket and going back around through the system and causing problems. So like I said, I've had one problem in 38, 40 years, and that was on my own plow. Had a couple cracks on my A-frame on my plow and was just going to stitch them up real quick on a Saturday morning, and I didn't tack it, but I hooked my clamp. It was 6-8 inches from where I was welding, but I didn't tack it, and for whatever reason the path of least resistance ended up being going clear around the A-frame and coming back through the braiding on the hydraulic hose. So I was welding away and I thought I seen something moving behind me, and I popped my helmet, and my neighbor was standing behind me with a 5-gallon bucket of water, because that, you know what, transmission fluids would have had in the hydraulic pump of the plow. So I was this monster white cloud lifting up out of the yard, and it was, you know, over to the side of me, so I didn't see it. But that's the only time I've ever had a problem, and just for whatever reason the braiding in that hydraulic hose ended up being the path of least resistance. But always tack your clamp. Just tack your clamp as close to your work as you can, and you shouldn't have to worry about nothing. We'll pretty much done on this. Jump in, make sure it all fires up and stuff. A curfew out here in the country, which I thought seemed kind of lame, but a couple Karens and Darrens close to here that have called the cops before. So I'm not gonna push my luck. It's 7 p.m. Sunday. The sheriff told me 7 to 7, 7 days a week. I'm like, okay, boss. So yeah, I didn't hit a master or nothing in this. I've been welding out there for an hour or two on it. All systems normal. No problems. Yeah, just always put your ground as close to your work as you can. You're all right. You're good to go. You don't got to stress all that other stuff. Everybody be safe.